Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Olga, Senior Librarian at the Santa Ana Public Library, and in celebration of National Hispanic Heritage Month, we have put together a very special craft for you and the whole family to enjoy, a donkey piñata. This donkey template will be in your Take and Make It Piñata Craft kits for families to pick up during the week of October 11th through October 15th during our curbside pickup or by coming inside the library during our library open hours. No registration is needed. This will be based on a first-come, first-served basis and will be available at both the main and New Hope libraries while supplies last. If you are unable to pick up or obtain your Take It and Make It Piñata Family Craft Kit, all items can be found at your favorite craft or big box store. The following items are included in your kit. For this tutorial, my colleague Doria from Youth Services will be demonstrating how to create your very own donkey piñata. Just a special note, parents and guardians, this craft will require the use of scissors and glue. Younger children may need your help or supervision during the making of this family piñata craft. So let's get started.
So I've already gone ahead and cut out my donkey template and ears. And so now I'm going to show you how to position the template onto the poster board so you can get the maximum amount of paper strips for your piñata. So I'm going to go ahead and flip my donkey so that his back legs, the straight line, is straight with the edge of the poster board. So once I have that, I'll go ahead and start tracing. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. We are going to cut this out after all. If you get a little on the template, that's fine. We're only using it this time. Okay. So there's the first one. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it so he's upside down, and then line him up as best as I can. So it doesn't matter if it doesn't line up, you just go ahead and trace over. Doesn't have to be perfect. Sure we get all our pieces. Okay, so there is a leg missing. Just kidding. There it is. Okay, so now I have the two ears. These can go pretty much in any small space, so I'm going to go ahead and put them over here on this side. So I like to position them so that they look like an offset rectangle, just so that I can trace them and not have them be too close. So now I have my two sides of my piñata and the two ears. I'm going to set that off to the side. And so now we need strips in order to form the box shape of the piñata. And so you can make the strips as thick as you like. I found that 5.5 centimeters is actually a really good width. It's not too wide and it's not too narrow, so you have a nice sized piñata. So I have my ruler with my centimeter side. And I have this space here on the long side that I'm just going to go ahead and make use of. I'm going to mark out 5 centimeters, or 5.5 centimeters, sorry. 5.5 centimeters should be perfect. I should actually end right here on his nose somewhere. And I'm going to flip flip my paper to make drawing the line easier. So I'm just gonna line up my tick marks. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. So I only got one long strip out of here, so I'm going to go ahead and use this empty space to make more strips. Position my paper better. I want to make sure when you're working on this that you have a nice big empty space to work on, just because crafting gets messy sometimes and your supplies end up everywhere. So you're looking to get about 2 to 3, 4 long strips, just in case for when you go all the way around your donkey or your piñata. So I'm just gonna get 3. Okay, so this is how your board should look. I have my 2 sides, my ears, and the strips so that can go around the body of my piñata. I'm going to go ahead and get started on cutting. Alright, so now you have your pieces cut out. I'm going to show you how to position everything to get started taping. So you're going to want the donkeys to look like mirror images of themselves, and then the long strip. It's always best to start with the long strip in the beginning. So I like to start by making about 3/4 of the way, or 1/4 of the way down from where the neck starts, just because this is going to be where my opening is if I want to put candy in my piñata. So then I'm going to get that lined up there. I use the other strips to make sure that their back legs are kind of lined up so it's as even as I can. So it's going to look like that. And now that I have the positioning, I'm going to start taping. Put that there. So I'm using packing tape. You can also use Scotch tape. They both work equally as well. Now that you have your tape cut, you're going to go ahead and start taping. So what I like to do is start and tape them both together. It doesn't have to line up perfectly. And then at this point too is when you would want to do your hole for your hanger. We're using a balloon sealer to make our hanger. So you can actually do it, I know I've already taped it, but you could do it beforehand and just make a little bend about there in the middle strip and just a quick snip. So then it looks like it's just a little nick in the paper, okay? And so then with the tape out, it's always easier with the tape out, you can start taping around your templates and continuing the form. So we're going to be using the balloon sealer as a hanger for our piñata. The balloon sealers are very convenient just because they already have the string attached to them. So I'm going to go ahead and unwrap my balloon sealer. And it has a little knot already, and it has these spaces. So what I'm going to do is, I don't really need all of this string. I'm gonna go ahead and just start wrapping the string in those holes. And you just go around in a circle, putting them in through the notches until you feel like, yes, this is not gonna fall apart when I hang my piñata. So once you're like, okay, we are secure, there's a very, very thin and hard to see opening where the ribbon was tied. Just take your other end and thread it through like if you're threading a needle. Once it's through, pull it to the length that you want. So for me, a piñata, this is a pretty good length. It's probably about 3 inches. What I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to make a knot around the metal, not the metal, the plastic centerpiece of the balloon sealer, just so that it kind of hangs more central. Once that's done, this string will poke through that notch, and I'll show you later how to do that. And then I wrap a little bit more of this around. And with this loose end, I make a double knot. Once I have that, just cut off all this excess string. We don't need it. And now you have your hanger, which will insert through the slit that we cut in our template. You can do it at this point if you want, or you can do it at a later point. I'll show you both. So at this point, you kind of try to get the ribbon through the hole. Once the ribbon is through, you just poke through the center portion of the hanger. And so there you go. So now we're going to go ahead and stand up our donkey. And we have corners that we need to get around. So a quick way to do that is just lay them back down. I like to follow the corner and make like a little, okay, that's where I need to go. So I'm going to bend my strip approximately where it needs to be. Flip him back over to his side. I'm just gonna make this strip a little smaller. And then I put tape on this side. Line it up to the strip. And there we go. Again, another corner. Just gonna approximate where I need to fold. Didn't fold it all the way, but that's fine. And then put the tape here. And fix my fold a little. And there we go. So it's not gonna be perfect. You're gonna get gaps. That's okay. We're gonna cover this all in paper anyways. And so that's kind of how you can go around the corners on the donkey. Fairly simple. So now I have all the tape all the way around my donkey. And I've already attached ears. I did show 2 different ear positions, so you can attach the ears straight up, or on this other side, it's a little more towards the front of the face, so it kind of looks like he's got his ears a little offset. Another thing is, I did run out of paper strip, but I did have that extra, so I attached it so that I could have a nice flap to cover and close up to add my candy. And that's how you do the basic frame of the donkey piñata. All right, so since we have our donkey already done, we're gonna go ahead and get started on making the fringe to cover him in. Okay, so on a regular sheet of copy paper that you would have gotten in the kit or that you can purchase at your local craft store or big box store, basically I'm just gonna eyeball it. I'm going to just cut this one in half and then cut this one in half again I'm just making a really simple fringe. I'm just gonna go down the line and cut it. It does not have to be pretty or neat. You can make it as fine as you want, as thick as you want, your choice. I already have some that I went through and did. I have some in red and green. And so what I'm going to show you really quickly is I don't like that the bottom is visible with tape and whatnot. So this half that I saved, I'm just going to quickly eyeball it to cover the feet. Okay? Just going to put some glue, which you would have gotten in your kit. Again, doesn't have to be neat. Put the paper there. And then I'm gonna just trim off whatever's excess. And then that should dry nicely. I'm gonna do the other foot. So now my feet are covered. I can start placing the fringe. So what I like to do is I place the fringe so that it's level with the feet. Okay? Only need one strip. And you can put the glue directly on the poster board, or you can put the glue on the strip, however you choose. I'm a messy crafter, so I like to put glue everywhere. And then I just place it down, pat it into place. You'll get some glue seeping out, that's fine. Art is messy, as it should be. And I'm gonna go around and do the same thing on the other side. So just glue, glue, and then just go around. If you see a little poster board, that's okay. You might be destroying the piñata later at some family festivity. Or, you know, your kids might fight over it, I don't know. Okay. There's a little exposed here. And there. So now my feet are covered. The glue is going to be very wet, very messy, and that's fine. So go ahead and do another strip to cover, and you can choose how wide you want the strip to be showing. So if you want to cover this top bit, that's fine. If you want it a little exposed, it's all dependent on what you want to do and how you want your piñata to come out. So on this one, I'm just going to do this the other way. Put the glue on the strip. And then position it where I want. Go there. Slide it up because it's wet. Turn it around. And again. There you go. So now the feet, this foot is covered. I'm going to just show you with the way that we cut the paper, with the long way of the paper, it's actually really nice the way it works out, how the strip will cover actually the length of the donkey, and I believe, so let me go with a green strip to show you just that. So I'm going to just put a line of glue down, and the strip actually covers very nicely the body. And so what you're going to do is you're going to continue making your pattern, or if you want it just all a solid color, you can just do that and have it go all the way up. The parts where it gets interesting is when you're going up the back of the donkey. And so what I like to do is I make shorter strips. Once I get to about this point, I'll make a shorter strip in about the size of the back end. And so I'll fold it, And then I just fold the long strip until I get more pieces. So once I have all my little folds, I'll just trim them. And then you put your glue. I'm just gonna go a little overboard with the glue for time's sake. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna slide it so it's a little even. And then you just, again, position to where you want them to be. And then you'll just continue going all the way up the back. The ears, you can cut out construction paper to the size, or you can wrap it around with paper. So now you see I've got my donkey completely covered. I did give him a tail. A tail is really easy to make. You can just use one of your scrappy bits of paper and twirl it. So some people use a toothpick. I can just do it with my finger. Kind of like when you roll a tortilla, roll the paper. It doesn't, again, have to be neat or pretty. And then you just put some glue. And then with your leftover fringe, you can cover that. And just make the little hairs for the tail. And just tuck it in under one of the fringes, and that's how you make a tail. For the reins and the eyes, those you can freehand and just cut the paper in a circle, oval, whatever eye shape you decide to use and color. And the reins, I just cut out little strips and place them around. To where I knew like a horse or donkey reins would fit. And so it does kind of go all the way around under the chin. This is just, again, some scrap of white paper that I had that I cut into round pieces to make the little like rivets that are on a rein. And that's pretty much how I did the donkey piñata.
And now you have your very own piñata for your family to enjoy. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. Until next time.